Hi everyone, this is Ana Huang, and I'll be ranking my top 10 spiciest books. Before I do this, I will preface it that in terms of choosing like the ranking, I will do both how much spice there is in the book, but also the type of spice. So if it's a little out there, the spice ranking will be a little higher. But in number 10 is going to be King of Greed. So it is spicy. I don't think it has as many spicy scenes as the rest of the books. And the spicy scenes that are in here are kind of a little bit more standard, I think. So it goes at number 10. And then at number 9, we have the Striker. And I put this above King of Greed because the Striker does have the ballet bar scene, which I think is its most famous spicy scene. So that kind of gave it the edge over Dominic and Alessandra.
How could we forget the ballet bar?
We'll never look at a mirror the same. So King of Sloth is number 8 because, again, there aren't quite as many spicy scenes as the rest of the books up here, but I think this may be one of my more controversial spicy scenes is like the shoe scene at the Valhalla Club. Some people love it, some don't, but I think that lands it somewhere in like the lower middle end of the spice scale. And then for number 7, we have King of Pride. And if you've read this book, you will also know that there is a scene with Pride and Prejudice and reading in here. I am so sorry if this ruined Pride and Prejudice anyway in your mind. But I think that one is definitely a little bit out there and like higher in terms of the spice level of the ones before it. So it lands a number 7 spot. Number 6 would be Twisted Love. And I know maybe in their mind they think it's spicier than it is. It is probably a little bit more graphic, a little bit more dirty talk than the others, but there aren't actually that many spice scenes in Twisted Love. So it does not make the top 5, but it is graphic and spicy enough to rank just outside the top 5.
That's fascinating. I would have thought it would be higher.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think spice is so kind of dependent on the person who's reading it. So I do know people who probably rank it higher, but for me, I think it's just because there really aren't that many scenes, and it's one of the first books I read where I was really getting into that more graphic spice storyline. So I think the others are actually a little bit more in depth. Number 5 will have King of Envy, which is my most recent book. And for this one, I think I'm really just thinking about that elevator scene, which takes up like a whole chapter. And then there's also their first time, which also takes up quite a few pages. And I think those are just very sort of in-depth spice scenes, I think, that puts it just a little bit over Twisted Love. It could be interchangeable, honestly, but for me, I ended up going with King of Envy at number 5. We are down to our top 4. So number 4, I think, would be Twisted Lies. Christian and Stella on a boat with ice cubes. That's really all I have to say. And yeah, that ice cube took them over the top. And then number 3, I would say, is King of Wrath. So King of Wrath, I think there is a little bit more spice in here than some of the other books below it. It also has several, I think, iconic spice scenes. Most famous one being the limo scene, and then there's a mirror scene. There's a scene in the Valhalla Club, which actually I think all of them have a scene in the Valhalla Club. That library has seen some things, but this is number 3. We are down to the top 2. So number 2 for me would be Twisted Games. A lot of spice, a lot of graphic spice. I think there was probably a part in the second half of the book where there was spice in every chapter for like 4 chapters. So it takes the number 2 spot, but even that 4 chapter run was not enough to beat the number 1 winner, which is Twisted Hate. I know some people will interchange Games and Hate, but I do think Hate is the #1 spiciest book. It's Enemies with Benefits, obviously a lot of spice. And fun fact, a couple of years ago, I saw someone take a photo of a bookstore, I think somewhere abroad in another country, and out of all 4 books in the Twisted series, Twisted Hate was the only one that got a 21 plus only sticker on it.
Wow.
So I think that just nailed it, you know?
Yeah.
So this is my official top 10 ranking of my spiciest books.